is Bold TV.
Good morning, lovely people out there. Welcome to another episode of Bold TV. Bold stands for Beautiful, Outstanding Ladies with Disabilities. And today we come your way from different parts of Nigeria. I have amazing young ladies with me here who are going to help me do justice to our topic for today. But before we go on, I'd just like to let you know that Bold TV is powered by Bold Hearts Initiative, a network of amazing women with disabilities who are doing great things in different fields of endeavor. And you can find us on Facebook, Bold Hearts Initiative. You can, watch our videos on YouTube at Bold TV. And then you can also connect with us across different platforms. We welcome you today and we look forward to hearing from you. We love your feedback. Tell us what you like about what we are doing. Tell us what we can do better. And also help us to spread the word far and wide so that more people can have access to the value that we bring. So today, we're going to be talking about something very important. Women with disabilities in the workplace. As we celebrate Workers' Day, May Day or Workers' Day as it is known here in Nigeria. Today, it brings to mind a very important and crucial issue, which is the issue of employment and the workplace as it affects and impacts the woman with disability. Many times discussions center around women in the workplace, but the subset, which is women with disabilities, is not often discussed or brought to light. So today we are going to do justice to that as much as we can. So with me, before we start, as our usual tradition, I'm going to allow my co-panelists introduce themselves, and then we'll dive deep into the topic for the day.
Hello, good morning, ladies. I remain Osaki Teresa George. I reside in Port Harcourt on River State, precisely. I'm a freelancer and a farmer. A disability rights advocate, and I'm so glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank to you, our listeners. This is Coach Oge Passion. I'm a health and wellness consultant, and also an above knee amputee that is based in Benue State, Nigeria. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Freki Andrew Estienne. I'm based in Port Harcourt in River State. I'm the ED of Fake Foundation, a co-host on Bold TV, and a member of Bold Hearts Initiative. I use a wheelchair from spinal cord injury, and as always, you are welcome.
All right, thank you. Welcome. And now, my guest for today, although she's more or less a family member, Oreva, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Barrister Mrs. Oreva Ofe-Ikime. I'm reaching you from Delta State, Abraka. I'm the head of the legal unit of the Delta State University. I am a polio warrior and I am a disability advocate. It's a pleasure to be here again.
All right, welcome. So we have the law on our side. And today I am your host and anchor, Afyong Etim. I live and work as a medical lab scientist in the beautiful capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Uyo, and I use a wheelchair from spinal cord injury. I am also a co-host on Bold TV and a member of Bold Hearts Initiative. So thank you, ladies, for joining me today. Now let's go into our topic, women with disabilities in the workplace, the strengths and the challenges. So first and foremost, I want us to lay a foundation, look to the past. What are some of the common stereotypes that surround women with disabilities, as regards employment and their role in the workplace? What are some common misconceptions that people have about a woman with disability working, being in the work environment? What do they expect from them? Freki, I'll let you go first.
Thank you very much. Some of the stereotypes that come with being a woman with disability in the workplace include, number one, patronizing attitude, where it seems that the woman with disability is just a number to make up maybe the number of employees or a quota for a certain employment tranche. The second one I've seen is the lack of expectation that comes from being a woman with disability in the workplace. So no expectation on productivity, and so no target given per se. So I've seen that as well. These two stereotypes have really affected a lot of women with disabilities from thriving in the workplace. I'll leave it for others to continue. Thank you.
Yeah, I think the major one is that of, being seen as something to be pitied. So they'll be like, just stay there. Let's not stress you. Let's not bother you. They, like Frankie said, they don't have any expectations, and they really don't even want to, have you do anything with them. They'll just expect you to sit there, and even if you don't come to work, fine. And it just goes a long way to show that you are just not accounted for, or not thought about, or not planned. So most of the times they even say bad things about you, like, wow, I won't stress them now. I'm gonna just leave them now. It's very discouraging. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. When you said they say, they just want you to be there, and in your mind you wonder, am I furniture? Did I come as decoration? How? Meanwhile, you are this accomplished, you don't go school, you sabi book, you know why you are there, you wrote application, and somebody decides how you should present yourself. All right, Osaki, finally, let's go to you.
Thank you very much, Afyong. So I will join what my other ladies have said. Part of the experiences this one that needs help. Do we have another staff that was sister? Like, they just mean that automatically you have somebody that will still assist you inside the workspace. And also, so are you sure she can do? Is she that knowledgeable enough? She's not fragile. She's still battling with disability. How will she fit into the workspace? I remember when I was working some years back, and the owner of the company is a kind of person that has inclusive mentality, because from the structure, you could find out that he has space for persons with disability, and even the building, physical building, it's over accessible. When I say accessible, everywhere. From the gate to wherever you want to go to is accessible for physical disability, both wheelchair and crutches user. So at that time, when he was doing his employment, that was like 4 years back, because then when disability rights even came, sir, he now did a massive employment of persons with disability. And some of the employers then were like, where this guy want to take on this? Where would he place them? What would they be doing here? Because some of us then, suppose that came in that period, we are using wheelchair and so we're using crutches. So some of the employees were uncomfortable, like, how do I manage it? And meanwhile, there was this absurd manner. One said that he has or she has someone with disability in the house, and that one is not working. Why would this person come here and work? That's the mentality that, okay, because in your house you have a child or a sister that disability is not working. So where you are working, what are you doing here? Are you meant to be here? Create unnecessary attitude. So that was an experience I had with the workspace.
Thank you so much. So people are uncomfortable. People are usually uncomfortable with what they don't understand. All right. So now we're going to, we've just highlighted a few of the stereotypes, but generally there are no expectations. They don't expect the woman with disability to perform. They don't expect that they don't look beyond her disability to see if she has any skill set or any value to bring. And that is usually discouraging and disempowering. So now we're going to move on to what, if, from where we are coming from. Some of us have worked, like personally, I've worked for over, 15 years in the public space. And I know that there's been some progress, if though not much. So Grace, I'm going to ask you, has there been any progress in ensuring accessibility and inclusion for women with disabilities in the workspace? Have you come across any situations like that?
Okay, yeah, thank you so much. So yes, I think there have been progress in improving the workspace to accommodate women with disability. I've seen a couple of my friends. I don't work at, I'm self-employed, but I have come to meet a lot of friends who have a disability, even my neighbor, not too far from where I stay. She's doing excellently well. And so organizations that have come to accept that inclusiveness, yes, though I know that definitely not all roles that they will be given access to participating, but of course there is inclusion in most places that they have awareness. As for my friend, she's doing excellently well. She's my neighbor. As a matter of fact, where she lives, she's the person who bought the place and accommodated her whole family. She's a polio warrior, and that was from birth. So you can imagine she works at the ministry. So she's doing excellently well. I think there's progress, there's awareness, and there's inclusiveness. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. Oreva, you've been in this space for a while, so we're basically like veterans. So have you noticed any progress as regards inclusion and accessibility?
Oh, yes. There's been a whole lot of progress, I have to say. I want to use where I work as an example, Delta State University, Abraka. Some years back, there was this directorate that was brought in, Institute of Gender Development and all that. And, I was able to, when it came up, I was able to work my way in, and I met the Vice Chancellor. I told him that, look, this is a very good place for us to start to create an awareness, about gender, disabilities and all that. So they keyed in, and then we're able to bring out a policy document that ensure that there's a sense of inclusion. And then with this disability law that was enacted, recently, it created a whole new ball game in awareness that was created, and in the fact that I took my time to actually make posts and send to all the platforms. If you discriminate, it's 5 years imprisonment. So that created a whole lot of awareness, and there's been this positive change for the better. So I would say yes, there's progress.
That's very encouraging, and that's very, very refreshing to know. And it just goes to show that it's not about the public in some cases, it's not a matter of intentional offense. It's more like ignorance. They may not know what to do or how to do it.
Afia will continue when she comes back to continue hosting. But with reference to progress that has been made for women with disabilities in the workplace, I have a mixed review. I think it depends on the sector where we can calculate progress. And this is from research. The Solidarity Center, in partnership with the Trade Union and the Labour Congress, as well as partner civil society organizations, did carry out a Nigerian-based research on access to workplace. And one of the things that we saw from that research was the fact that there was a diversity of access. So you see that in private institutions, in the private sector, there's a lot more, there's better inclusivity in the workplace for persons with disabilities, and especially women with disabilities. But when it came to, interestingly, the government sector, that's ministries, departments, and agencies, it was not as forthcoming as it was in the private sector. And you would think that it should be the other way around, but it wasn't. The other thing that I've seen by way of progress is the fact that there's been some level of consciousness, not just individualized consciousness, but system consciousness when it comes to inclusivity in the workplace. And we must say that indeed progress has been made. Recently, you would see that one area, at least, that I've seen that they are beginning to be conscious of is that employment rate, that 5%, at least in the public sector. There's this push in trying to ensure that as much as possible, when there is a call for job application, that at least there's a 5%, the Civil Service Commission, etc. But for me, what I've seen by way of progress is that it's varied, it's diversified, it's better in private institutions and sectors, still a bit lagging behind. They have too many excuses in the government sector. And even within the government sector, depending on where you go to, the progress is different. So Afyong is back, so we're going to hand over for her to continue as we begin to wind down with the last two questions. Afyong, over to you.
All right, thank you. Network Wahala. So, thank you, ladies. You've made very insightful contributions, and it's heartwarming to find that we are not where we used to be. That there is some progress, in spite of it being small. Now we're going to dive into challenges because from what you've said, we can tease out that there are some challenges that still exist. And so we're going to, talk about the challenges now. What are some of the challenges that still exist? And then in what ways, how can we overcome the existing challenges so that we can make progress? All right. So, Grace, I'll start with you.
Okay, thank you. So some of the challenges I have come to know about people, women with disability in the workplace. One is the fact that some people, that is able-bodied people, think that women with disability are not ambitious enough. Yes. Able-bodied people that can do it, that has prospects, that have a future, that have plans, and all that. So it really doesn't say good about women with disability, because it's not about the disability. It's about your mindset. It's about how you carry on with life. It's about your initiative, how open you are to learn and be better. Yes, and then the second thing again is another challenge is that there is not very good accessibility, probably accessibility problems. You understand? Maybe to access even the workplace or even a good accommodation that helps these women with disability to manage their issues. You understand? So all of these things, if they can be put in place, I think it will help a lot of women with disability to be more confident and do their stuff. Because if they are not comfortable, it's going to affect their work in their workplace. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Grace. Thank you. Oreva.
Yes, I just want to support what Grace had just said, because it goes beyond, the disability itself, to the fact that, okay, fine, you've gotten a job. Now you are going to climb a building that has been built for like 45 years ago, for example, and then the stairs are so steep, and then you are there battling. They are giving you the chance, come and walk. Oh yeah, getting there now is not a problem. But for me here, it's a challenge that can be overcome. There was a time last year, I had to employ 2 boys, I'm not kidding, that would be able to lift me up the stairs, because I wanted to show up and prove that I can. So while there are disabilities, for me, it's an avenue to tell them that we are able to do that. That's one. Secondly, another challenge we have, or I have, for example, is getting to the convenience and back. Convenience was horrible, was a long way off, And so these are things that we are having to contend with, even beyond our own disability itself. And then the third one that stood out for me is the animosity of co-workers. For people that are beneath you in the cadre, they now feel like, why should somebody with challenges be there when they are here? You understand? So beyond the service system, the personal relations and the mindset of the other workers is also a challenge. Thank you.
All right. Okay, thank you, Frankie.
So the first one, speaking to the woman with disability, I would say is that low self-esteem or lack of self-worth that projects even in the workplace, that makes her feel that she's not even worthy of the position. And what that translates to most of the time is feeling that you're being done a favor to even be employed in the first place. And so not taking on opportunities as they come, or speaking up when somebody outrightly discriminates you based on work. So that I've seen for the woman with disability, that low self-esteem, that imposter syndrome. The second one, still on the woman with disability, I've seen as a challenge, is when you begin to dance to what is detected for you in the workplace that reduces your productivity. So I've seen, and I've also experienced where I've been told categorically, especially when I was in the health center, you don't have to come every day. Every other person was coming every day. And while I understand that we can negotiate stuff, but I wanted to understand the reason behind that benevolence. And it was like, don't stress yourself. In fact, they said, if I don't come at all, you can come at the end of the month and sign and collect. Then what will I now say I did at the end of the month? With respect to work. So I've seen a lot of persons with disability, women with disabilities, actually they're like, oh, thank you, Jesus. They dance, they're like, oh, very understanding. Without understanding that reduces their value in that space. and their productivity, and actually tells a terrible story of other persons with disabilities. Now, the other challenge that I've seen in the workplace is lack of reasonable accommodation. There's always this excuse that the place was built since before you people's law. And I'm like, thank God there's something called reasonable accommodation, and it still speaks in the workplace. Reasonable accommodation speaks to what that person's need is that would maintain that person's productivity on an equal basis with others. And as an employer, you will provide it. The other one I've seen is lack of opportunities for persons with disabilities in the workspace, especially women. They already write you off before you even say, I want to go. So you see, well, all those extra things like trainings where you go out, for those who have chance, go outside the country, your name will not even show. They've already excused you for yourself. So I've seen that challenge, and it leads to lack of growth. And I mean, everybody has talked about the issue of accessibility, where your office is on God knows what floor. And you're asking yourself, will I not change departments because my department is upstairs? Factual questions, you know. So these are some of the challenges that we've seen in the workplace. The last one I would say is that organizations, corporate organizations, must intentionally have policies that are inclusive. Why? Because something can happen because maybe the head of department or the vice chancellor or the president of the company was inclusive in his mindset. If there are no laid down policies, when that person leaves, everything that the person works for will scatter because it's not written down on paper so that somebody can you have it as a working document. How can that happen? Persons with disabilities that work in these companies must insist. Yes, they are doing you a favor, maybe because you know the person, but no, it's not enough. Let it be written down. Let us begin to have documents that will protect the rights of persons with disabilities in the workplace so that irrespective of who is there or in a place of authority, those documents speak. All right, let me stop there. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. You've shared quite a lot. And it begins with, like you said, it begins with the person with disability. If you don't see yourself as worthy of being in that space, then you will not conduct yourself in a manner that will, pave the way for others. Because one day you will leave. And then maybe the next person with disability that comes, no matter the qualification, they say, the last one that was here, that one didn't used to do anything. No. There's no point employing them. These people, they just come and collect money and go. Is it not better if government just give them stipend? There's no point bringing them. Those kind of things. They already think so. So when you reinforce the beliefs they have about you, it becomes a problem, not just for you, but for others that will come after you. So it's important that wherever we find ourselves, show up as the best version of yourself. So ladies, before we go, we've all shared different personal experiences, so we won't go into that. But I just want you to say just one thing before we go. This is rounding up now, so everybody will just get to say one thing. Let's keep it very brief, please. Osaki, let's start with you.
Okay, thank you very much. I feel that was good. I didn't done well. What I will say is keep pushing, because I think that consistency would really bring one out of that self-esteem or low esteem. Like I have a friend recently where I used to work. She's still there. So she just told me that I was like, they're giving me permanent accommodation. I said, wow. Like I said earlier on, the company already had a disability policy right from time. So it was not an issue when the owners are not around. So in recent times, she just said they gave her accommodation. And accommodation is, wow. When I say accommodation, it's not a joke. It's not a lie. Sweet. Everywhere. I think if you are blind, safe, you can find your way. Nothing to tell you. Nobody will tell you climb anywhere or nothing. Everything is just smooth. So with that consistency and persistency, even when one of our boss was trying to shut her up not to apply, she insisted, and our direct boss signed. So for by God's grace, I think since this month, she had accommodations assigned to her, and that was even easier because she's so evident that she works even Saturday and Sundays. So she doesn't need to go to our house anymore for now. She just from the company to the residential place. There's this keke, but not our type. Very, very nice, very more sophisticated. So that spirit of existence is landed her to this opportunity now. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So know your rights. When you know your rights, then you can push for it. All right, Grace, briefly. Just one thing.
Okay. What I have to say to women with disability is, as a women with disability, the place of confidence is very, very important. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
okay.
continue.
Okay, the place of confidence is very, very important, because the way you carry yourself is the way people out there will look at you, not just you, other people with disability. You understand? And there are
Yes, go ahead.
opportunities line for you to really explore and show what you have. Be creative, not just in your workspace. Put out your works out there. Someone is listening to you, someone is seeing what you're doing. It will not give you even more credibility, the respect, even at your workplace. When people see you, they know that you are ambitious, you are a person of value, you have other values that even them that are able-bodied can tap from and get better. So please, let's be confident in ourselves. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Confidence, very key. However, briefly, please let's keep it brief. We're rounding up now.
Yeah, for me, it's all about being the best at what you do, whatever field you are. Make sure that you are the type of person in your workplace that they will have to call on, knowing that you have the best. Prove yourself. Don't let any challenge deter you from showing up and doing a job, so that they will keep coming to you, because they know that if they want the best, they better take you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Be a person of value. Trekkie.
Okay, thank you very much. My word is to two persons. First, to the employer of disability, do not make assumptions. Go ahead and ask, what do you need to improve or increase your productivity, and ensure that job description is very clear. Number two, to the woman with disability, show up and bring value to your space. Doesn't matter how you enter. If you were the number to add to the disability quota, no problem. But don't allow them to continue to base you on disability. Bring value. And you can gain expertise on the work. Ask questions. Do not shy away. Finally, if you ever feel that anybody is patronizing you or dissing you because of your ability, speak up. Thank you.
All right, ladies, thank you so much. And I will say this. You can never go wrong. The person who asks questions can never go wrong. There's an African proverb that the man that asks questions will not lose his way. So ask questions, both employer and employee. If you're an employer, ask questions. Don't, like Frankie said, don't assume you know what the person with disability needs, or act based on the preconceived notions you have. Ask them, what can I do for you? How do we work together? How can I make this environment conducive for you? And as a person with disability, don't take whatever is thrown at you. Speak up, say something. I've had situations where people, made assumptions. They were like, where will she do? Where will she be? And I was like, in fact, I had to speak up, because we usually have the directors meetings, and it's upstairs. And I was not, I didn't show up. And then when it's time to look for money, you remember that my money is not disabled. My money can reach the top. But when it's time for a meeting, nobody's thinking about how I can attend or whether my opinion matters. I had to tell them. I told them, look, as far as this meeting is concerned, I should be there. So if for any reason I can't make it to the meeting, I believe I should be apprised of whatever resolutions were made, so that because it's binding to me as well. So I don't keep quiet and just assume that, that's how it is now. So far as I get salary at the end of the month. No. You cannot, you treat me like a human being. I know my rights. So that's what I'm saying to everyone with disability out there. Please, the way you see yourself, how you value yourself is the way you present yourself. And thank you so much for joining us today. I am, I'm beyond, glad that you were able to tune in and join us on the program today. Thank you to my amazing co-panelists who did help me to do justice to this topic. And to every worker out there, happy Workers' Day. Thank you. We hope that when you see this, it will help you think differently and also, be more aware of those around. So ladies, as is our usual fashion, before we go, I'd like to solicit your support. To those who are watching us, thank you for always tuning in. I want to solicit your support. We need money for subscription to be out here. Every Saturday, we come your way, 10:30 a.m. every Saturday. We come your way on Facebook and on YouTube. Subscribe, just hit that subscribe button and notification so that you know when we are putting up new content, and then like our Facebook page so that you can also have access to past, present, and even future content. help us share these videos far and wide. Somebody needs to hear it so that they know how to move forward and how to help someone else out there. We are called to, to be a community, to support one another. So thank you so much. However, you can support us in cash and in kind, it's most welcome. Send us an email. The address will be scrolling on your screen, and then we will get back to you. Please like and comment, and see you next week, Saturday, 10:30 a.m. in the morning. So ladies,
Bye.
before we go, as a usual method, let's say bye. Bye.
Have a day.
Thank you. Happy
Thank you.
Mother's Day.
This is Bold TV.